Welcome back to the Switch Sports Golf World Cup. This is our second match for Team USA. It's me and Michael Hawk representing the US, and we're facing JTS and Kevin A from Taiwan. Now, JTS spent a lot of the last ranked season ranked in the top 3. He's a very, very solid player, one of the top players in this game. And Kevin also has a very interesting story where in the last ranked season, his low point was last. He was in last place with I actually had to go look back at the archives, with an 899 ELO rating at one point, and ended up finishing at 2100 in the top 20% of all players. So just a remarkable story for Kevin to now be representing Team Taiwan and for the improvement that he's made. I believe he speaks through a translator, but if someone can get the message to him that I truly respect his dedication to the game, his commitment to getting better, and his improvement, I hope I can get it across to him. We're going to start here on hole 21, one of the specials here. We're doing the same format as last time. It's a best of 3 random 9 stroke play match. We're adding up the team scores for the overall 9s. And it's a race to win 2 games. Let's see if we can get off to a good start here. We've got very, very light winds. And this front tee position, that's one of the better ones. One that I like a bit more. Let's see if we can hit a good shot here. Almost full with the 9-iron.
Nice shot.
Okay, that looks pretty good. Oh, did I have the wrong club? That's not good. Hopefully that actually rolls all the way back so I can chip. Okay, it will. I think I clubbed up to the 7-iron in my chatting and forgot to club back down to the 9-iron. Okay, let's try to put that one behind us. Let's see if we can maybe chip this in. Otherwise, not the best start. Fortunately, it's light wind and not too bad of a pin. But that's not the best way to get this round started. Hopefully we can bounce this up and in. Let's see. Okay, it's on its way. Oh, it'll hit the pin. Alright, so we're going to start, if I can sink this with a par on this hole 21. Oh no. Oh no, I missed the putt. We'll have to tap this up there for a bogey on the first hole. That's not the best way to get this going. Let's see if we can get this match back on track after that first hole. Okay, so JTS and MH will birdie. My teammate comes through there. Kevin will par that one. So Team US will start with a 1-stroke deficit here. You know, that's not my best start. I played a really good match last time, and I like to try to come through in these, you know, kind of more nervy, stressful games, but didn't quite do it there. Let's see if we can correct that. Get this game back on track. Not an easy second hole with 26 miles an hour in that front left pin. Let's just try our best to put that behind us. We'll hit the 5-iron here and make sure that we have the 5-iron in hand. Ooh, it's a little bit short. Oh, hopefully that makes it. I think it will. I think that'll be okay. Now, if that takes a light roll, which it will, that'll be an okay spot to be. Low and right is one of the better, more preferred leaves on this pin. So this is not too bad of a putt, despite it being a little bit further than I would like. Let's just hit it up there with about 2.5 dots of power. And that should sink nicely for the birdie on that tougher hole 8. JTS and MH are still on the tee. A lot of times with these stronger winds, it is a very smart idea to take your time with the alignment. We see JTS with a nice one there. Ooh, MH with a flag shot. It'll be MH sinking the birdie and JTS sinking the birdie as well. So a bogey from Kevin, I believe, will flip this match back into the US's favor. Taiwan had a 1-shot lead after 1. We now have a 1-shot lead after 2. I'm only at even par. We'll move on to hole 18, and it looks like in this seed we have 2 special holes. So it's been not the easiest so far, not the easiest seed with 8 and 21. We've got 1 more left. This hole 18 is not looking too bad though. We've got 9-mile-an-hour winds.
Nice shot.
And hopefully I can just get back into shape here, put that first hole behind me, and play a good rest of this match. We'll have a good look here at what looks to be the pin that's at the pinnacle of the green. It's kind of on that 3rd level. Let's aim this to roughly there. We'll hit it with the 3-iron. Yeah, I'll say the 3-iron. That should be good. We'll hit it with about 3.2, 3.3 or so dots of power. Right about there feels like the good play. Let's try that out. Alright, it's on its way, and it's looking actually quite good. If that takes a nice couple of bounces, it'll make it up, and it'll sink for the albatross. Through some wind on hole 18. You know, if I didn't have that first hole, where I believe I used the wrong club, I'll have to go back and actually look. I just think I forgot to club back down. Ooh, I'll pick up the albatross, and I feel like that makes up for it a bit. We'll see a couple nice approaches there. I think that was MH just missing, and JTS just missing as well. MH will sink the eagle. JTS has a pretty straightforward look at it. And his putt will sink as well. So that'll push me to 3 under. Kevin with a birdie will be back at even par. JTS and MH are still 1 shot ahead of me, but that'll be a 3-shot lead for Team USA. We've got hole 10 now with, it looks like, some lighter moderate crosswind, 9 miles an hour, actually not too bad. And it's that front left pin, one of the trickier ones in my opinion. But with this wind direction, it actually gives you a little more green to work with. So it's not too bad. We can just aim this a bit out to the right on the second shot. I'll probably have to hit it with about, I'd guess, like 3.5 dots of power. Alright, so let's aim this to roughly there. I want to say maybe, yeah, we'll call it about there. We'll hit it with, it's a bit of a guess, but we'll call it about like 3.3, 3.4 dots of power. That feels about right. Let's see if we can roll this one up there.
Nice shot.
I think, ooh, it's going to be a little bit short. It's not quite going to kick in the proper direction anyway, though. I don't think that would have been good, even if it was the proper power. It would have been a bit too far to the right. But through that stronger wind, it's not a bad approach. We'll just tap this in for an easy birdie on hole 10. There was a nice approach from MH with a spin that just ends up a little bit short. JTS is going to have a good line, and he'll... Oh, my goodness. How does that not fall? I was ready to... I was winding up to say sink it, and it just pauses on the edge and doesn't fall. That is kind of baffling. Wow. So just birdies all around. Team USA will maintain that 3-shot lead through 4. We have 5 holes left to play in this first random 9. We'll move on to hole 9 here with some lighter looking wind in a kind of helpful direction. This is maybe one that we can go for in 2, or at least put it down in the area of the green. Let's see what we want to do here. Let's aim this way out to the right. Now the wind's going to push this left, but I still want it to be kind of on the right side of the fairway. It's not quite going to end up there. I still think I want to send this down to the right rough, because being closer to the green, especially when you're chipping through wind, is always preferable. This should be able to carry all the water no problem with this wind. It's not the easiest pin location though, but I do think putting this all the way out to the right gives me an angle with the next chip where the putt should be a lot easier or a lot less risky, because hitting this shot to this pin, if I zoom in on this green, from the short fairway, you're dealing with a lot of side hill if I pull up the terrain. But if I go all the way to the right and I kind of chip over that mound, it makes the next putt either straight up the hill or straight down the hill. So let's keep that in mind. Hit this second shot all the way over there. That should carry the water no problem, and it definitely will. And now with this angle, this should give us, I think, a better chance of making it, and also a much better leave if I do miss it. I think we should be able to just pull up the 9-iron. Yeah, that's kind of perfect. Some kind of helpful wind. We'll aim this a little out to the right. We'll hit it with a little over 2 dots of power with some spin, and hopefully kind of just plug this one close. Let's see. That's a pretty good looking shot. It should kick left. Oh, and I'll sink it. Wow. I'll make the eagle from the right side of the green. I think that evens me back up after that first hole bogey. I've made 2 hole outs in difficult fashion, and we're back even with everyone else in this match. JTS will birdie, MH will birdie. I think I saw Kevin par, and that'll even me back up. 6 under through 5 is going to be the leading score for me, MH, and JTS. Kevin A will be at 1 under. Team USA will take a 5-shot lead. We'll move on to hole 13 here with a bit of tailwind. Ooh, a bit. 20 miles an hour of tailwind. What's the proper play here? I want to say that I aim this to about there. And I can use the spoon and still roll it up there with just about 2 dots or so of power. And that should give this a decent chance. It should roll by the pin. Now hopefully I don't leave this short. I don't want to put this in the bunker. I think that's okay. Let's try it out. Yeah, that power feels like it should have a decent chance, actually. Oh, is that going to take a nice little roll? Oh, it'll just miss on the left side. I was nervous about where that was going to land and the effect that that would have, because it's flying real low. Like, just a tiny difference in trajectory can cause that to clip the bunker or fly over the green, but it ends up just about perfect. I nearly make it, and we'll have a little tap-in birdie here. So after a tough start to that round, I've pulled it back together, as I was hoping I would. We'll see JTS on the back of the green. MH is towards the front. JTS will sink a nice putt, one that kind of trickles down that hill. MH has a little bit of a side hiller, but this is a putt that you see pretty frequently on this pin, especially if you go for some spin. And he will sink it no problem for the birdie. So birdies for me, MH, and JTS will push us to 7 under. Kevin A will be at 1 under, and the US will take another stroke lead here through 6. We'll move on to our second special hole of this 9, hole 19. Holes 19, 20, and 21 are the special holes in this game, and this is a tough little condition. That pin is on the back side of a mound, or kind of on top of it, with not a lot of green behind it. It's a very steep mound as well. We have wind that puts all the trees in play, and it's strong as well. So what we want to do, I think our best shot here, is to club down to the 3-iron. Apologies, my cat was eating my Christmas tree. We're back now, though. Okay, let's just hit a safe shot up there for the first one.
Nice shot.
Now, the trees are kind of in play, but if I put that far enough out to the right, hopefully I can still use the 3-iron and carry them. No problem. This is just a tough one to judge. Let's see what kind of distance we can get on the 3-iron. Ooh, is that going to make it? The problem with clubbing up to the spoon is that I have to aim it way out to the left. And if it clips one of those trees, which it can do, that puts it pretty much automatically OB. Do I want to use the spoon and try to hit just a little draw against the wind? Is that maybe the best option here? I mean, I could use the 3-iron and bounce it up there. That seems like it's a less risky play. If we end up short, just chip it up there for the par. Let's use the 3. Wherever this ends up, it ends up.
Nice shot.
That should move a good amount to the right. Hopefully it clips the fairway, which it will. And that'll put me on the green. It's not going to be an easy putt. With the maximum 3-iron, that's about as close as I could get. MH will sink the birdie from a couple feet. Great shot there from MH. Wow, just to put that not just on the green, but within a couple of feet. Incredible. Good thing we have MH on our team. I mean, this is still a sinkable birdie. Be a fun one to pull off. About 3 dots should be good. We'll send it on its way and just miss it on the left side. So a tougher hole 19 here. Hole 19 is never easy. Looks like we see JTS end up short as well. So this one was a risk-reward one. I definitely didn't want to be OB and give up a bunch of strokes. Ooh, that's a good-looking chip from JTS that'll just miss. So even though I ended up short, it was the safe play, and it guaranteed the par if I missed the birdie. JTS will sink the par as well. So it'll be pars for me, JTS, and Kevin. MH will make the birdie to take the overall lead in this match at 8 under. I'll be 1 shot back, as will JTS. We'll have hole 11 now with that front middle pin. The one that I aced last time. It's a different wind condition, though. It's 9 miles an hour, but a different direction. Let's still use the 3-iron, I think. Let's try to hit this with a little over 2.5 dots of power. That should be a decent shot. Let's see what kind of bounce it takes. Ooh, it's going to fly a little too far. It'll still roll back just fine, though. So it's not going to be a make, and it's not going to be a near miss either. It's going to be 6 feet away, but that'll be a fine birdie. There's a great-looking shot from JTS that'll sink for the hole-in-one. Wow. Oh, MH hits the pin. A near miss there. JTS with a nice ace will tie MH. Oh, wow. I spoke too soon. MH got sent by that flag stick. Wow. MH's putt for the save is on the way, and it's looking great. Right in the middle to save that birdie after being just sent away by that flag stick on that approach shot. So JTS will make the eagle there, the hole-in-one, to push to 9 under through 8. I'll be at 8 under, one shot back of him and Michael Hawk. We'll finish this first round here with hole 14, which is going to have some very light wind. Just 2 miles an hour, pushing kind of straight ahead. So this makes this one pretty straightforward, and it's a pin that's pretty accessible. So let's aim this one to about there. We'll hit it with a little less than full power to send it through that gap in the trees. That should be a good shot. Now hopefully it just sneaks under that second big tree. It will. It looks like MH and I will be in exactly the same spot. This is a fun opportunity maybe for a second albatross. The wind's not going to push this too much. I think I just need to aim it to about there. We'll club up to the 3. And I'll hit it with roughly that much power. Let's see if that works. Okay, that's the shot that I wanted. Now, is it going to take the proper couple of bounces? It will. I'll sink another albatross, my second one of this first 9. Oh, man. I mean, you know, after a bad first hole, that could have been a great round. If instead of making the bogey, I even just made the par or the birdie. Looks like JTS ended up short of the bunker, perhaps had some tree trouble to end up there. Oh, MH will just miss the albatross. That would have been a fun one for Team USA. There's a nice looking chip from JTS. Oh, it'll just miss on the left side and lip out even. MH will go first and sink it for the eagle. JTS will make the birdie, and that'll be 11 under for the lead. For me and MH, Team USA will take the victory. JTS will be at 10 under, Kevin will be at 3 under, and we'll move on to Game 2 against Team Taiwan. We're back with Game 2 against Team Taiwan. It's me and MH facing Kevin A and JTS. We'll start here with hole 3 in this second random 9. If Taiwan wins this one, they'll force a game 3. If we pull off the second game, that will be the match. We've got 17. Hole 17 is on this seed. That's always one you don't really want to see, but that's the only one. So as far as the overall seed goes, it doesn't look too bad. We'll start with this hole 3 and some very light wind, just 2 miles an hour pushing to the left. We can hug the left side of that right tree safely, and that'll leave us with a good-looking shot to put this one probably in the bunker. Just in the bunker is a good spot to be, a good distance to chip from on this hole 3. So we'll aim this one as far right as we can without hitting that tree on the right side. We'll send it through that tree gap, and that should hopefully be somewhere in the range of about 25 to 30 yards away. And that should be a good-looking chip. Ooh, it's maybe a little further back. 30 yards is not too bad. We'll just have to think about this one a little bit. Let's aim it to roughly there. And I'll want to hit this with about pin-high power, or maybe slightly more. Because from this slightly further distance on the far side of the 25 to 30 yards, that's where the spin starts to bite a little stronger, a little harder. So this is still a pretty makeable shot. I just have to hit it with that pin-high power. Let's see if we can do it. Okay, that looks good. That should take a good looking bounce. It'll roll back and sink, barely, just inside the right edge. It didn't bite quite as hard as I thought it would, but it still makes it all the way back. We'll sink the eagle on this hole 3. Kevin, it looks like, ended up just a bit short. Oh, and he'll lip out the putt. There's a lip out for JTS on the eagle chip. MH has yet to hit his eagle shot. Kevin will tap in for the par. JTS is going to make the birdie. MH will sink the eagle. That'll be 2 eagles for Team USA on this first hole of Game 2. A good start for our team. So that'll be 4 under through 1 for Team USA to 1 under for Team Taiwan. We'll move on to hole 11 with that front left pin, and we're going to see some stronger looking winds again. 6 miles an hour for hole 11 is on the stronger side. Let's aim this one to about there. That should be good. We'll hit it with a little over 3 dots of power and some backspin. Let's see what that does. Oh, I accidentally pump faked it. There's the shot. That looks pretty good. That should clip just left of the pin. Oh, it's going to be a little bit too far on the left. It'll roll back to the right and just miss. Inches on the left side. JTS, it looks like, had a very similar looking shot that just rolled back a little bit stronger than mine. Oh, I thought that might take another little roll to the right and sink for the ace, but it's just a near miss. We'll tap in the birdie. JTS will make the birdie. MH's shot is rolling back down. It'll just miss on the right side. So some great approaches for me, JTS, and MH. I'm actually not exactly sure where Kevin ended up, but I think he tapped in for the birdie. We'll see MH tap in his birdie. And it'll be birdies all around, so no change on the leaderboard through hole 2 here. We'll move on to hole 7 with, once again, some lighter looking wind.
Nice shot.
Let's just hit a good shot out there to the middle of that short fairway. That should give me a good line through those trees to maybe spin back the 3-iron. I think that's going to be the play for me. Yeah, so we can land this just left of the pin. So looking at the topography of the green, if this lands just left, it should roll back to the right. And there is that mound in the back of the green that catches it and rolls it back pretty strongly, even if I hit it a little bit too far. So I'm going to trend along here and hope that that works. Let's aim it to there. We'll use the 3-iron and about 3.8, 3.9 or so dots of power.
Nice shot.
That should be a good looking shot. Now if that lands... Oh, hopefully that doesn't actually make it all the way too far to the back. Oh, it's going to catch the fringe. I put too much on it. We'll have about a 47-footer to try to save this birdie. So overcooked that one. I actually had a very similar situation earlier where I landed it just a little bit too short. Oh, there's a great looking shot from MH that hits the pin and ends up inches away. Oh, man. Okay, let's see if I can pull off a tougher birdie here. This is going to move a bit to the right at first, and then by the time it gets down there, it's moving back to the left. So let's keep all that in mind. We'll aim it to about there. Hit it with about 3 dots of power or so to put it down that hill. Oh, it's a little short, but let's see if it gets there. It just won't. I'll miss it on the left side. Not my best run at this hole 7. Overpowered that second shot. And I'll end up having to tap in for the par. So it'll be birdies for MH and JTS. Kevin will make a par, as will I. That'll push me back to second place here behind MH in this overall match, but Team USA still maintains the lead. And we'll move on to that hole 17. What kind of wind are we going to see? It is so dependent on the wind, and it's some strong looking wind. It's tailwind, which isn't... This is one of the few cases where tailwind isn't always super helpful, because even if you club down, the launch roll that you get sometimes on this hole just puts you over the back of the green no matter what. And if you leave it too short, then it just bounces to a stop way short of the green. It's so tough to put this one close, even with this wind that looks like it's helping. Let's try our best with the spoon to put this
Nice shot.
on the green. I want this to clip the rough first, and it will. And it'll get a nice launch. Now that'll end up left and pretty far away, but that's about the best you can do, unless you get super lucky
Nice one.
on this hole 17. Everything trends to the left. If you miss it to the right, then you just end up in trouble right of the green. But this is a pretty makeable putt. Even though it's 35 feet away, I feel pretty good being here. This is going to move a little bit to the right at first, and then trend back to the left at the end. Let's see if we can just aim this one, you know what, maybe slightly to the right. Hit it a little over 2 dots of power, kind of through the break. Let's see if that sinks. Oh, it'll lip all the way around and fall. I kind of needed to just aim that right in the middle. I put it a tick to the right and it ended up sinking just inside the right edge, but that's a nice birdie on a tougher hole 17. We'll see MH just missed that one on the right side, so it looks like we saw a couple missed putts there. This is one of the tougher greens to read. There's a lot of double breakers, a lot of slope that doesn't quite look like it's there. So I'll make the birdie, and the only one in what has been a very up and down match for me. I've done some very cool things and some very baffling things, but that's allowed me to tie for the lead. That's evened out to a pretty good round. We'll move on to hole 18 once again. We'll see some tougher looking wind, it looks like. It's going to be 13 miles an hour, kind of in the face, which means we can't go for that left island. We'll have to go for the right island. But that's actually not too bad. We can just put this one safely out there, and this green is not too hard to hit with this wind. We can just safely put it in that little further notch of this right fairway. And we'll just have to aim this second shot a little out to the right. I think the driver is going to be the play, but maybe I'll take just a tiny bit off of it. Let's hit this with almost full power. We'll call it like 3.9. This may launch, it may not, but I just want to try my best to put this one close and see if we can have a makeable eagle putt here. It's on its way. It's trending on a good line. Now that should launch after hitting the rough, and it will. And that'll put me in a fantastic spot to putt for this eagle. Kevin nearly made the albatross. I saw him tap in an eagle there. Wow, what a shot from Kevin. JTS will have a very nice approach as well. So I thought mine was pretty good, and Kevin and JTS have surpassed that. Let's see if I can sink this tricky little one on the ridge, the back ridge of this green. Is it going to move right at first? It's tough to tell. It looks like it just kind of moves straight, and then if anything, just slightly left at the end. I'll hit it through it all. We'll sink the eagle. Oh no, MH is in the water. I'm not exactly sure where he ended up. Was he in the rough maybe and tried to go for it? Okay, MH's next shot is going to be just fine looking. Let's see if that rolls back. Ooh, that'll just miss on the right side. We'll see Michael Hawk tap in the par. Okay, so not too bad, just a par save. MH said he got the dreaded red bar. It'll be 6-5 to 4-3. Team USA will now have a 2-shot lead in this second game. We'll move on to hole 10. We've got 4 holes to play. We've got a tougher back pin
Nice shot.
on this hole 10. We'll just hit a regular old drive out there. There's no wind, and this is a pin that is so tricky to try to make. We just have to aim this kind of arbitrarily out to the right and hit it with kind of an arbitrary amount of power. It's kind of guarded by a funky slope that's really tough to judge if I look up or if I pull up that topography map. It really depends where exactly you hit, how this bounces, and bouncing just inches apart is going to cause it to react pretty much completely differently. Let's try our best though. We'll hit it with a little over 3 dots of power on this 7-iron and roll it up there. Right about there should be good. Let's see if we can at least put this close. Okay, that's a good looking shot. Ooh, it's going to bounce a little too far. Yeah, so it ended up...
Nice one.
Ooh, wow, JTS left that out. It ended up in a good-looking spot in terms of the direction, but I just hit it slightly too hard, and it had just not quite enough time to bounce to the left. Let's tap this birdie up there, though, no problem on this 0 wind hole 10. If you miss on that pin, that's typically where you miss to, so it's a very straightforward putt. MH will tap in for the birdie, and that'll be birdies for me, JTS, and MH. Kevin will bogey there to push him back to 2 under. I'll be in the overall lead at 7 under through 6 here. And now we'll have 0 wind once again on hole 13 with that front left pin. This one's a trickier one of the trickier aces here. Let's see if we can pull it off though. We'll use the 5-iron. We'll hit it with about that much power. I think should be good. Let's try that out and see if we can just spin that back. Okay, that's the shot I wanted. Now let's see if it has the result that I want. Okay, it looks like it's going to roll back a little too strongly. JTS is going to sink the ace. Someone else sunk it as well. Was that Kevin or was that MH? It popped up real quick, and my own little nice approach thing took away. It only shows 2 at once on the left side. Who else made that ace there? Oh, that was MH. Wow, nice ace to MH to match JTS. I'll tap in the birdie. Kevin will be in the bunker chipping for the birdie, and he will... Oh, he'll have some spin on it. It was on a good line. I'm not sure if he meant to put the spin on it, but it'll end up just short, and he'll have to tap in the par. So aces for MH and for JTS. We'll pull JTS back up to the tie for the lead with me. MH will be 1 shot back. We've got 2 holes to play. It's going to be hole 1 and then hole 5. It looks like we'll see some lighter wind. Yeah, just 2 miles an hour for what feels like the 3rd or 4th time
Nice shot.
in this second match we've seen 0 or 2 miles an hour. Let's aim this one just slightly out to the left on the second shot. We'll have to put just a touch more power on it than we would if it was 0 wind. We're 95 yards out though, so it's still a very straightforward shot. It should just be like 3.1 or so dots of power. The aim should be to there. Let's try this one out. Right about there should be good. Let's give it a shot. Okay, I like the way that's starting. That should kick just a bit to the left. It'll roll back to the right and we'll sink the eagle on that front pin of hole 1 through some very light wind. Looks like Kevin ended up just short there. JTS and MH are still in the fairway. Let's see if either of them can sink the eagle here. Kevin will sink the birdie. There's a good looking shot that should fall for MH. JTS just ends up on the left side of the pin. So nice eagles for Team USA in the second to last hole of this second game. JTS will tap in the birdie, and that'll put me back in the overall lead. MH will move to a tie with JTS. Kevin is at 3 under par. It'll be hole 5 here with some wind kind of in the face. Yeah, 17 miles an hour, pretty strong wind in the face. Let's just aim this out to the left. It's going to move back to the right, but it's not going to be anywhere near the rough with this wind. That should just take a nice little bounce forward. And that'll be a good leave for this second shot. You just have to aim this anywhere out to the left. I just want to make sure I put this in the fairway. It's a back pin that's a little tougher to get to, especially through this wind. But we can just allow the wind to push this one to the right. We'll be well short. We don't want to do anything super aggressive here. I'm thinking maybe I'll club up to even maybe the 7-iron or the 5-iron and just put some light spin on it just to keep it close to the pin. I think the 7-iron is going to be the play. That looks pretty good. I'll aim it a good ways out to the left. The wind should push this a decent amount right. Let's just hit this with about pin-high power, maybe slightly more. And see if we can put this one close. Or maybe steal a lucky eagle. Okay, that's exactly the power I wanted. Let's see what kind of bounce that takes. It's going to be a good-looking bounce, and like I said, the spin is very light. It just kind of stops it in its spot, and we'll have a nice little tap-in birdie here on this final hole 5. Let's send that up there. That should finish out the match. Let's see how everyone else finishes here. JTS went for the spin a little more aggressively, it looks like. It'll roll back down. MH will have a nice similar birdie putt to me, and he'll sink it. Let's see if JTS can make this tougher little birdie putt from the bottom of the hill. That's a good-looking putt. That'll sneak in the left edge. A great putt there from JTS. But that'll do it for Team USA. We'll take the victory over Team Taiwan. Great games to Team Taiwan. I should say there was a lot of scheduling issues with this one, so thank you to Team Taiwan for making it work. I don't think JTS and Kevin had a lot of time to warm up for this game. Unfortunately, we're kind of across the world from each other, so it makes it tough, but that's the way the World Cup goes. Scheduling is definitely a part of this. So thanks once again to Team Taiwan for playing, kind of on short notice. Great game to MH and great game to Team Taiwan. We'll see you in the final game of this pool play for the World Cup against Team England next time around. I hope you've enjoyed watching. Let's try to finish out here in the top 2 of pool play, which will allow us to move on to the single elimination bracket